Hi, did you know that every time you try to do something new that can cause an improvement in your life or your loved one's life, or that can cause a change in a particular situation you're intending towards breaking cycles, you're someone I call a cycle breaker. Welcome to my channel. I am Doreen Muzaki Olinya. And I love talking about cycle breaking because I am a cycle breaker. I broke through a cycle of bitterness and many more other cycles. And I am the proud author of the Cycle Breaker's Walk. If you need a copy, please find it in any bookstore around you, bookshop around you, or find it online on Amazon. If it's your first time to log into my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up every time you like my videos, and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any video that I'll be posting. Today I want to talk about steps towards becoming a cycle breaker. And I'm going to examine 7 steps that can enable us enter the realm of cycle breaking. If you're wondering who a cycle breaker is, a cycle breaker in brief is someone who faces their fears and fights them persistently in a bid to break odds or certain cycles. Cycles are things that have kept on happening in our lives recurrently and yet keep on yielding negative results. So in a bid to create an improvement, to cause a certain change or to make better of the situations that we are in, we decide to put an end to the old situations or to the old happenings, to our old ways of doing things. And that's why in a bid to try and create an improvement and make life much better, we break cycles. The first step to becoming a cycle breaker is acknowledging and accepting the fact that there is a problem somewhere. You need to sit down and accept the fact that things are not right within you. I want to give you an example. You can never go to a doctor unless you start feeling some bit of the symptoms of maybe unwellness. You start by feeling some bit of feverish, nausea, and then some bit of temperatures, maybe body aches or headaches. Then you start wondering, what is the problem? So when you start accepting that I'm actually not feeling well, I need to see a doctor, that is the very first step towards gaining your treatment that will lead you into a healing. It's the same thing that happens in the cycle breaking realm. The very first step to breaking your cycle is when you acknowledge that there is something wrong somewhere. There's a problem somewhere. I am not fine. I'm not myself. This is not me. Something is not working out well. How comes I am trying to study hard and I'm not achieving the results that I need? How comes even if I try being that wife in my home, I am still not creating the happiness that I expect to create, that I'm expected to create? How comes that even if I concentrate in my books, I read day and night, I do winter, I step in the basin and read those books, I am not gaining the results that I need at the end of the day? I'm not gaining the performance that I expect, my performance expectations. So every time you keep wondering, and then you come to a conclusion that there is a problem somewhere, there is something that's not right, you are stepping into cycle breaking. The number 2, you start embarking on identifying the problem that is causing all this kind of commotion, this kind of noise within you, all these sorts of questions that are lying within you. You start now asking, what is that problem? Where is the problem? What is causing me to fail? What is causing me not to achieve what I want to achieve? What is that obstacle that is standing in my way? So when you are trying to identify the problem, in a bit to answer these questions that you're asking yourself, what, the what, in order to gain the what question and answer to the what, that is when you start now identifying the problem, the root cause of everything that you're going through, the root cause of the negative results that you're achieving. After you've identified the root cause, the problem, the cycle that is causing you not to achieve what you want to achieve. For instance, I identified the fact that I was bitter, and that's why I wasn't achieving whatever I wanted to achieve. And in order for me to achieve different results, I had to put an end to my problem. So I discovered it was bitterness. After you've discovered the problem, the cycle that is not making things right, you start now embarking onto building knowledge about that cycle or the problem. How do you build the knowledge about the problem that you're facing? You do a thorough survey, and in most cases, the survey must be historical. You need to do a background check and find out the root cause of this problem. How did the problem start? Who was responsible? Who began the problem? For instance, in my life, in order to ascertain the root cause of my bitterness, I discovered that my bitterness was actually not on only me. It started way back from my maternal grandma, and it kept on transcending to my mother, and it came to me, a child, me, my siblings, and everyone around us. And why did I become bitter? It's because of the circumstances that were surrounding me. My grandma was bitter because the man that impregnated her earlier on in her senior two did not take responsibility. And the fact that she could not let go of the immature insults that were hurled at her at that point in time, she carried on to the bitterness. So even us, the children, never got to know our maternal grandpa because of the mistakes that happened way back in senior two when grandma had conceived mom. So when my mother got married, she also wasn't welcomed with open arms by her in-laws. She was mistreated and disrespected in all kinds of ways by her in-laws. And we, the children, could not contain the fact that she was disrespected. The fact that we could not contain it and yet helpless made us develop a certain amount of anger, which translated into bitterness. So in order for us to put an end to this bitter spell, someone had to come out and say enough is enough, and that person was me. If you want to understand how I overcame my cycle of bitterness, you need to get a copy of the Cycle Breaker's Walk in any bookshop around you or on Amazon, and then you will discover how I overcame bitterness. The Cycle Breaker's Walk is basically my real life story, entailing my real life experiences and the lessons that I gained from those real life experiences. And I hope that as you read that book, you will be inspired and motivated into taking your first step towards breaking cycles. After you've built thorough knowledge, like I did, about the problem that you're facing, you go to the fourth step. You take responsibility, you take charge of the problem. You accept it for what it is. You stop victimizing, put an end to the victimization syndrome. Stop playing the blame game and seeking for self-pity. Do not let yourself blame others. Don't blame others for being responsible for your problem. The fact that I was bitter, the fact that we were surrounded by naysayers, I and my siblings lost control over the situations around us, and we gave way to bitterness. We were already in a mistake, in a very big mistake. I had to take responsibility of the fact that I accepted to let situations around me, the pains around me, and the naysayers' words define and shape me. So after you've dealt away with the victimization process, you've stopped playing the blame game, you've stopped seeking for self-pity, but yet you're facing the problem you're facing the problem head on. You're fighting your fears with a lot of persistency and confidence and belief that you can manage, that you will succeed. Seek for help. This help is both divine and human, but it is very, very imperative that we seek for divine help, because divine help comes from God. And God is the only sovereign being that can enable us to fight those things that might have seemed impossible for our predecessors. When you grow up, there are certain things your family members keep telling you, this cannot be managed. This was not able to be defeated. For us, this is how we are living. This is the trend of our way of life. If you try to put an end to this, these are the repercussions. So the only person that can enable you to overcome all the consequences, the negative consequences of the cycle that you're breaking, is only God. He's the only one that can create that shield that you need, that shield of protection. Surrender all your feebleness and your weakness to Him, and He will take a hold of your situation and He will use it to glorify Himself. So we need divine intervention. We need God. He will grant us the victory that we need over those particular situations. He will grant us the results. He will make sure that we move in a direction that will enable us to attain the results that we want to attain and reach our expectations. So after you've gained help from God, you need to develop a support system. You need a team of people who believe in you, people who love you, who wish you well, people that are not going to speak words that bring you down, people that are not going to camouflage and lie you that you're right, you're on the right track, while in your bitter state, yet you're wrong. People that are going to correct you with love. People that are going to stand and support you and tell you, regardless of how the situation is, we are your fans. We are going to be by your side. You will manage. It is possible. If such and such a person managed, you can manage. Those are the people we need. If you want to break cycles, you don't need people to tell you that you cannot break it. You actually need people that can tell you that you can make it. You can break it. It is possible. You can do it. It might be tough, but you're tougher. Point number 6, which is to ascertain the tools that can enable you overcome the cycle or the problem that you're going through, that you're facing. So which tools are these? We need the tools. When you're going to a garden to dig, you need a hoe, because the hoe will enable you till the land and soften the soil so you can plant your seeds well. So for us to successfully break the cycles that we are going through, we need the tools, and not just any tools, but we need the right tools for those particular cycles that we are going through. For instance, you cannot mix a tool that is meant to fight violence and use it to fight failure. You need the right tool. If it's a cycle of violence that you're going to fight, you need the right tool. If it's a cycle of idolatry, a cycle of prayerlessness, a cycle of stagnation, a cycle of failure, marriage failure, or barrenness, you need to establish what tool to use in order to overcome that barrenness, yes, that you're going through, or that problem that you're encountering at that point in your life, in order for you to achieve the results that you need. So finally, after you've done all that, now you make a resolution and a commitment. You commit yourself to fighting until it is done. You don't give up. You stay in there. I don't want to promise that the journey is so smooth. Yes, it might not be smooth, but with God by your side, there is nothing that will be impossible. God will fight. And all you need to do in the midst of all these complexities that you will face in your journey is to stay tall. Keep being tall. Keep fighting. Keep facing your fears. And before you know it, you will overcome. If you've liked this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any other video that I will be posting. May God bless you. I hope I have inspired you into becoming a cycle breaker.